Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Australian report for the 22nd of December. Starting with the weekly chart here, just want to point out the two bullish counts that I have. One is that we've got wave 4 sitting on this low and wave 4 is either sitting on this low here. There's good cases for both of them, but it tends to be that the Australian market would be looking at this as the wave 4 low here, and that would be based off the banks. So if that was the case, then we would be looking at this here as 1 and 2 here, and 3 here and 4 here, and then going up for wave 5 here to have that top there, then the ABC for the 1, 2 here. Because we've got 5 waves moving up here, we'd have wave 1 and wave 2 here, and then moving to the upside there. It's pretty hard to see that would be going into a wave 3 in this case, but well, we've still got the resources expanding and probably going into a long-term commodity cycle. And I know from Elliott that it tends to be the commodity cycle is the last one to top out in a major sort of super cycle way. So everything's kind of fitting in sort of nicely. I know the economy in the US is in a sad state of affairs. The repo market, prime banks are not, which are the engines of the economy, are not putting money into the economy, so the Fed's helicoptering money, and they'll just keep continuing to do that. So they don't seem to be changing their way. So all in all, if this is correct, then we'll see wave 3, 4 and 5 here before the markets top out in a severe way at that particular point. That would be taking this wave 4 here, putting this up here for wave 5 here in that regard. So a major top coming in. So all we can do, guessing fundamental analysis and guessing what other people are going to do is pretty sort of tricky, but all I can say is that we are getting 5 waves here for our market, so that means that we should have a correction and then we should be pushing up into this third wave. So 2021 is going to be a year to to really bank some bucks, and that will come from banks and resources. I think in this case, the resources will lead higher. I can see the Chinese market's got further to go up to the upside as well. So yeah, so I'm going to dull this one out here. I'm just in the mindset of working with this here as the low and looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we'll look at both counts. I think it's valid to do that. The daily chart here for that. So we've got these wave 4s here for this. Excuse my mess. We dull this one out. Just working on the hop here, so that's all cool. So we're looking at, we're going to dull this ABC out here too now. In fact, we don't really even need them there for this exercise. We're just to make things a little bit clearer. I mean, in the US markets, this is wave C low here. But there's a good case when you look at the S&P 400 that this can be counted as 1 and 2 as well. So I'm just going to copy that and put that there. So we're going to dull this number 2 out, and we are looking at this as wave 1 and 2 in the US and also in the UK and EU as well. So I'm going out on a bit of a limb here to change this a little bit. So I'm just going to move that over here and swap these around, make that the primary sort of count here for that. But we'll still consider these. We're not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak. Yeah, right. So that would bring that down. I'll just copy this one. So somewhere up in the 72 area here, see how we travel, then we should see some sort of corrective move here and then a move up from that point. That's what we're looking at. We can adjust those and look at all those sorts of extensions and retracements and so on later. But look, I think that's the count that we're looking at here. Now this count up here hasn't been that easy to count, but I'm going to consider this being 5 waves from this low to this high here, because that's how it plays out in the UK market and the DAX and the well, the S&P not so much. The oh yeah, this line's in. This would all be in line with the Nasdaq. This count, a little bit different. Little bit different, but same. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, so this here, I've got this as Nasdaq as wave 4 here, and then wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and going up for wave 5 here. So okay, well that's not so bad. We're not that lonely after all. Yeah. So technically, if that's the case, then wave 4 would pull back 38.2%. So that takes us down into that space. Yep. And then up from there, so we know that now. We also know wave 4s can get messy if wave 2s are sharp and simple, so this could end up going sideways through here through Christmas and get really messy, so be mindful of that, and I'll try and work through that. This whole last section here has been quite tricky to figure out as well, but this is the best I can do with it. But what we're going to do now is we're going to copy that. We're going to put that there as wave 3 and that there as wave 4. I mean, I kind of like this too, because when I look at the materials sector, I can, which we will look at in a moment as well, but I can see it's got further to go based on such things as iron ore to the upside. So wave 2 doesn't have to, but would probably drop lower, so we can put that in here. We can look at this as 5 waves to the downside here as well, in this little move here, so we could get a rally back to here. Would probably, if I was wrong with this, we can see that the 6700 here carries a fair bit of weight. So if that became support with a classic trading levels pattern on it, then we could go long from that point. So just want to have a look at the bank, so I'm here. So this is all this this is a daily chart, and this is Westpac here. So I'm assuming that we could look at this as wave 1 here, ABC for wave 2, and probably 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So a wave 4 here for this. So Westpac can, oh, wrong drawing tool. So Westpac can have another little 5 waves up into this space before dropping back again. Definitely looks like a corrective pattern in that regard. I'll just check on Macquarie's as well. They had something like that. MQG haven't. So this one here, yeah, this is a little bit weirder. I've got to work out that here. But still, that's that thing there as 1 and 2 and 3, and that one was simple and sharp. This one here is sideways and complex. So this looks like a wave 4 here as well. So it looks like Macquarie's can pop up in this regard as well here. ANZ's doing much the same. CBA's kind of leading and doing a few other things. So the banks can have a bit more upside there in that regard. I'll just have a look at just want to have a look at the XMM, which is the mining sector. third wave in here, so I think we've still got further to go up there. I'll just check the XMJ. Not sure how to count that really. I don't know if I should count that as 1 and 2 here and then 1 and 2 here. It looks like that's the way I should count it, and then 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 into the third wave. So that would bring this way up here further. I don't think I can count this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can't go to 5 here, and I could go to 5 there. I could count that as 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5 coming up into this space. Let me just check on iron ore for a second. I mean, one of the things with the iron ore here is that commodities tend to extend in fifth waves rather than third waves, but also I need to keep an eye on that we don't have some larger third wave coming into play here. I'll just note that there. I'll just note that, and I'll just dull that out, and I'll just ponder that situation over Christmas time. But yeah, this is certainly moving. Didn't spend as much time as I thought it would at the 1,000 area there. But we're looking at this as 1 and 2 here. A bit difficult to see, but 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here and here. So we've got probably 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, but it still looks like a third wave here. I have to pull that apart, but there's still space in there. That means I just want to have a look at Fortescue metals. Okay, so we were looking at if 22 became the resistance, then we would be out of the market at that point. So that hasn't occurred, and that's where that stop would have gone there as well. So, but either way, we didn't get stopped out, or you didn't. I wasn't in this trade. I was in BHP. Yeah. So if you're anyway, that's the next target there at 25 for that. But this is not finished either. This is still got. If this is 1 and 2 here, this is all part of a larger third wave here. So this will be something like this here. Be something like that, just to let you know. But yeah, it's got that little bit more to go in here. So these are, I'm just seeing what can lift us to new heights here. And it's more likely to be wave 4 here for this, rather than wave 1. Looking at the extensions in those commodities, that's what I'm thinking. Whoops-a-daisy. So I should have all this organised, but anyway, working on the hop and just showing you how I look at things and work is okay too, I think. Yeah, so the question again here was, where was that 38.2% coming back into here? Just there, a little bit lower. So we need just to be mindful of that. It's at 4.630 in that instance. So I wonder if we're going to get something like this here as an ABC pattern here. That's what I'm thinking. Let's go in further now. Just probably have to adjust this as well. So okay, already got the 4 there, that's good. So from that, this move down through here, I can see that that's 5 waves, yep. I can see that that's 5 waves. It looks a little bit shorter than this wave 1 here. So it does cause a little bit of a problem. And I mean, it could just continue straight down from that point. But if we looked at it as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, they're a bit dodgy, but they're all 5 wave structures. That means we could bounce back to the 67, which is the 618 point blah blah blah, and then have 5 waves down through to here. So we could go an A, B, and C wave. Because the US markets were down 0.5%, and that doesn't show me 5 waves here, that only shows me 3 waves. That means that that can also just drop in here as well, and then we would need to look at this as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and look further down at that point. But basically we're looking down here somewhere at the 38.2% retracement level. If it comes further down for whatever reasons, it comes further down, then we'll need to look at it as a wave 2 at that point. So the long trade here would be classic trading levels pattern, the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then the A, the B, and the C wave here. So that means that you could go long above here and above here, of course. That's the long trade if they get clicked in at that point. Otherwise, we can see ourselves back down at the 6.5 here. So folks, that's my best guess at what's going on at the moment. It's not very helpful, and we're not in a nice trend to the upside coming into Christmas as well. It's likely that people will take positions out of the market, and it'll be lower volume and so on. Also too, we will be taking a bit of a break at Christmas, between Christmas and New Year, Christmas Eve or something, and New Year. But during that space, if I see anything that's occurring, charts will probably normally go out, FX and the S&P and all that. But if I see something that needs to be handled and we need to be in it or whatever, then I will make a video in that space. Okay, so I'm not going to totally leave us all blind here, and not that you're blind anyway. You'll do a great job. I just add the idea of patterns to your analysis. So, yeah, alrighty. Yeah, nice one. Alrighty, thanks. Cheers.